Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy Solution. Hope everybody's having a great Friday. This is a day of remembrance for 9/11 and for all those that lost their lives, not only the ones that actually lost their lives in the two towers, but the ones that had the side effects of trying to save people or look for people in the rubble itself and who develop some kind of underlying medical issue due to the toxicity of the area. So we don't want to forget them either. Guys, like I've said before, I'm trying to keep my videos down to 15 minutes. And so these are going to be introductional videos. I'm just going to bring up some PowerPoints, some points that I'm covering with the original article. The original article I did on WordPress as a blog post. So if you go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it, or if you go to my Facebook group page, Weight Loss Made Easy Solution, and join it. This video will be there, and then if you go to the description section, click on to the blog post. That's the actual original article that will have all the science and information about this very important topic I'm going to talk about. So the topic for today is something that needs to be talked about. It's part of our educational programs that we teach our online personal coaching clients who are trying to reverse underlying diseases like prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, obesity, fatty liver, cancer, and many, many others. And they need to understand the root cause of why they have these underlying conditions and how to reverse them. And they need to know why they're going through our program that is science-backed, that is going to help them become healthier and have overall health. And so that's why education is so powerful, and that's why Emily and I, or this is why I like to get on YouTube, because a lot of the health professionals and doctors don't actually tell the whole story. And so those of us, there's a couple of great health professionals out there that are on YouTube that are spreading the word, that are trying to educate the public and give them science information. Okay, guys, so what I mean by this process, which is known as gluconeogenesis, how does this relate to blood glucose levels when doing a prolonged fast? And I have my clients check their blood glucose level with a meter, and I also have my clients check their ketone levels with a meter, because both of those play a huge part in whatever issues they're trying to reverse. Now, what I'm talking about here is where the myth is, and is where a lot of health professionals and doctors are misleading their patients and their clients by telling them that when you're doing a 24-hour fast or a 36-hour fast or a 42-hour fast, that's detrimental to your health, that it's going to cause issues. In reality, science has proven that wrong. And that's where we have to get on the social media and actually give the public the truth on the benefits of what a 24-hour fast, what a 36-hour fast, and what a 42-hour fast has to reversing many disease models and to reversing prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. And so what I'm going to do here is I got my notes here, so I got to get a little bit bigger. So the question is, how does gluconeogenesis, how does it beneficial somebody that has prediabetes or type 2 diabetes or a fatty liver or is basically obese or overweight? How does this process actually benefit them also? And in this article, once we go through it, then you'll understand partly of what I'm saying here. but by going to my YouTube channel, going to the description section and clicking on the blog post and read the whole article, you'll get a big overall picture on how it all works. So first of all, what I did was I like to Google what I'm talking about, because it's not coming from me, because a lot of people go to Google themselves and they look up stuff, and most 99.9% of the people that go to Google to look up some kind of scientific information, they do it wrong. They're looking in the wrong place. Ellen and I have been doing research for over 40 years, so we know where to look. So I went ahead and Googled gluconeogenesis to see what it says. This is what it says. This is the definition of it. Gluconeogenesis is a metabolic pathway that results in the generation of glucose from certain non-carbohydrates. Now this is really important. So it says non-carbohydrate. So we all know that when you consume carbohydrates, it is broken down by the body into glucose or sugar, and then it's dumped in your blood, distributed to all your trillion plus cells, and used for energy and to operate throughout the day. That's when you eat carbs. But here, glucose from certain non-carbohydrates, from breakdown down of proteins. Gluconeogenesis is one of several main mechanisms used by humans and many other animals to maintain glucose level. Okay? It helps to avoid low levels, which we know as, and this is where the confusion is, because many health professionals and doctors are giving the wrong advice to people not to do a high good dietary fat, moderate protein, or a very low carb diet to reverse many disease models because of the word hypoglycemia. Well, the problem is they're not telling the whole story. They're not telling the truth, because if there is a sense of what hypoglycemia causes, and it will cause your blood sugar to drop so low that you will create this. But I'm going to explain how you're supposed to follow the protocols little steps at a time, so hypoglycemia doesn't have an effect on your body at all. There is a protocol to follow to eliminate that issue. Okay? So what gluconeogenesis also does, because it's when your body has ran out of all carbohydrates, your liver is depleted. There's no more carbs in your liver at all. So the body cannot draw any energy or sugar from the liver to operate, because there isn't anything left. Well, you have to understand, guys, that this process of gluconeogenesis, if it wasn't around, you guys wouldn't be here at all. Period. There would not be us here on this planet because of this process. So what I'm trying to say here is you got to look back at your ancestors. All right? I mean way back. Okay? We all know that back in our ancestor days, there was no shopping centers. There was no stores to go to. They had nowhere to go get food every single day, right? No, they didn't. And so our ancestors was basically had to go out and hunt for their food. Now, did they find the food every day or every hour or every 3 hours like most of you are eating? No, of course not. We know that. And so what's happened is that they could go, a team of tribesmen could go out to a hunt, and they could go 2 to 3 days without zero food or 0 calories in their bodies at all. So there has to be a process that happens when there's no calories given to the body at all, that when they do come upon their food, and if they have to chase the food, then they got to have enough energy to be able to chase their food down. And so that process is called gluconeogenesis. And so just like it says, the definition is, it can actually take proteins that are actually take the fats from your body, your own stored fats, which is what you really want to do. It can take the proteins that are floating around and the lactic acid that is in your body from exercising, which is a byproduct from exercising. It can actually take those three things and convert them into glucose. That's why you do not have to be afraid of doing a prolonged fast when you're exercising and when you're trying to put on lean muscle, because the body has that mechanism that's going to save the muscle. You are going to produce glucose first from your own stored fat, from proteins that are floating around, and from the lactic acid if you're exercising, before it does any damage to your muscles, before it goes after and eats any of your muscle. And besides, there's another process which a lot of health professionals don't talk about at all. It's called I've got a brain fart here. It's called autophagy. I've talked about it so many times, how can I forget? But it's called autophagy. And you can go to my YouTube video or my Weight Loss Media Solution Facebook page and look at the videos on that. So, think about that. Your ancestors, you see what I mean? So, this was gluconeogenesis. It's nothing new, but nobody talks about it, and it's a very important process that our body has to go through when we're during a fasting period to be able to reverse many disease models. So don't be afraid of it at all, okay? So, good example of what gluconeogenesis does for Emily and I. We're both seniors. We're well in our 60s. Like I said, we monitor our clients' blood glucose levels and ketone levels by a meter, real blood test, as well as Emily and I. We've been doing this for quite a few years, for a few years now. So we have I have a documentation. I know where my blood sugar is at 24 hours, or at 36 hours, or at 42 hours. I do multiple prolonged fastings per week because it works for us to help burn that excess body fat off of us, to help us actually put on lean muscle. And the biggest thing I really enjoy is it helps to slow down premature aging. So we've been doing this a while. And like I've posted and talked about before, you can't get in a state of fat adaptation or ketone adaptation. You can go to my YouTubes and see what those are. That is what's going to help you process the gluconeogenesis when you're fasting and when you're going to be exercising while you're fasting also. But anyway, so I've been testing our blood for about a few years now, and I know that at a 24-hour fast, okay, those of you that are afraid of fasting, or those of you that had somebody tell you that you will become hyperglycemic if you fast, is totally blown off. It's wrong. We've proved it. Science is already proving it, which I'll read you a couple science reports here. But in a 24-hour fast, my blood, and I exercise in that 24-hour fast by doing interval strength training, and now recently, because I want to burn off some more fat, I'm doing 20 to 30 minutes of cardio right after I'm training, because now I know for a fact that I have plenty of glucose in my blood to recover after a hard training session because I've tested it. And so in a 24-hour fast, my blood sugar will get down to around sometime between 84 and 74. And that's a great healthy range. Now I've gone 24 hours. So I've already blown away the bull crap on hyperglycemia when you're fasting. So, and then on a 36-hour fast, our range is pretty close, Emily and I, and we're well in our 60s. We're not young anymore. But our glucose is within 78 to 72 in that range when we do a 36. Now, what's really crazy is I did a 42-hour, I did 3 of them, and my blood glucose never got down below 74. So there's the gluconeogenesis. There's the process. Just like my ancestors, I'm able to produce, even though I haven't eaten any calories for 42 hours or 36 hours or 24 hours, I am producing, using my own body's natural mechanism to produce glucose from my fat. I still got some fat on me. I'm trying to get that off, but from the protein and the lactic acid when I'm exercising, that lactic acid thing is crazy. I mean, that blew me away. I didn't really understand that until I read some more research on it. But I really didn't know that I was actually producing metabolic waste, which is lactic acid from exercising, and reversing it into glucose, which is great. That's amazing. That shows how incredible the body is and how it protects itself. Like I said, the body has all kinds of natural protections. You just got to know how to activate them and be consistent and find the protocols that work for you. Okay, guys? So that's a good example of just Emily and I. Now, all this doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there is a protocol. There's a protocol you got to follow. I recommend you find a good coach that has a 12-week program that's educated in this and follow it. Okay? But you got to be consistent. You got to set a real life. You have to set a short-term goal and long-term goals. It took me 12 months, a little bit longer, to become fat adapted and to become ketone adapted to where now I'm always in it. It took me that long. It took Emily a little less. We're all different. You're not going to get the results you want unless you do the long-term goals and stick to it for the rest of your life. So let's go to the science. Okay, now let's talk about the science on gluconeogenesis when doing a 36-hour fast. Now I'm going to read the actual scientific report. This is not coming from me. I didn't rewrite it. I'm just taking it from the site. Okay, some health experts call this type of 36-hour fast, they call it a monk fast. And the reason for it is it's done once a week, which should make you guys that don't really want to fast 2 or 3 times a week very happy, because the results were incredible. Like I'm going to read the results here in a second. But it's done once a week, and it wasn't done for weight loss by the monks. It was done for clarity of the brain. That's the reason why they did it. But science did show some results of weight loss. So now the length of the fast plays a huge part in receiving the benefits from doing a prolonged fast. Now, you've heard me talk about all these different fasts, 16-hour fast, 18-hour fast, 20-hour fast, 24, and so on, right? Heard me talk about that. But the thing is, what I want to do here is that science, this particular research and others I've read, it seems that when you do if you do a longer fast, 16 hours fast, is actually when things physically are, the physiology of the body starts to change. So this test alone, or this research is showing what happens at 20 hours and 24-hour fasting. So the actual physiology changing of the body that's going to reverse many of your disease models or help you to lose that body fat is going to start after 16 hours. Okay, so minimum fasting is 16 hours, but if you really want to escalate, you have to go longer. So this report, or this test, or this research was done in the Journal of Annual Review of Nutrition. The study showed that after 16 hours, the body start to activate what is known as gluconeogenesis. Okay, and we already explained what that was. What that means is the body runs out of glucose from the carbs you eat to converting fat, either from converting from fat. It's stored at what that means is your own stored fat is what they're saying here in a fasted state. It also takes proteins and converts those into glucose. It also takes the lactic acid, which is the byproduct of exercise and converts that into glucose. And this is what I'm reading off the site. The study also showed that after 16 hours of fasting, you can have a doubling of ketone levels from 20 hours, 24 hours to 36 hours. So at the 20-hour mark, at the 24-hour mark, the 36-hour mark, and then the 42-hour mark, you could have a doubling of the of ketone levels at those fasting marks, which is huge, huge as far as reversing many health benefits. Ketones, you can go to my YouTube channel, figure out, find out what those are vital for the body. Okay, so the brain uses glucose aggressively for about 28 hours when fasting. So after 16 hours is when you activate gluconeogenesis. Okay? What this means, your demand for making glucose is extremely high because the brain has to have it. If your body has used up all your glucose from the carbs you have eaten, then where is the glucose coming from after the 16 hours? Well, you guys know the answer now, right? Okay, here's one more research, and I'm going to call it quits and let you guys go to my YouTube channel. I think I'm just checking my clock here. I'm trying to keep it down. So there was a study done in the Journal of Cell Metabolism. The study looked at alternate day fasting, which you guys know I'm a real fan of. And it's what we do every single week. We have an alternate day fasting protocol we follow, and we do it every single week, and this is what I'll do the rest of my life. So the study looked at a 36-hour fast. They took two groups. One group did alternate day fasting. One day was a 36-hour fast. The next day, they ate whatever they wanted for 12 hours. I've come to realize now I had the type of body type that I could not eat whatever I wanted. Otherwise, I'd balloon up. Okay. Now that I'm fat adapted, and now that I'm keto adapted, I am blown away that I can pretty much go out on my date nights and I can eat whatever I want, and I won't gain an ounce of fat. Matter of fact, I'm still losing fat. But this group, the first group did the alternate day fasting. The fasting days was 36 hours. On their non-fasting days, they had a 12-hour window to eat whatever they wanted. Okay. The second group, they took the second group and they told them, what did they tell them? Here you go. Okay, they told them that to eat the standard American diet, eat whatever you wanted, no real structure, but just don't try to gain weight and don't try to lose weight. So the group was told to eat whatever they wanted each day. That's basically what they were told. So what they found, that the alternate day fasting group lost more body fat, and on their eating day, and I can contest to this because it happens to us, on their eating day, they did not overeat. Okay, well, why not? Well, there's a lot of factors involved. And probably the biggest ones are, could be their stomach shrank in size, or they have controlled the hormone that is designed to tell you you are hungry. They control the hormone, which you guys have heard me talk about, ghrelin, and there's a couple more. There's one that actually tells you not to eat, that you've lost control of. But those are the two things that most likely happen because that's what happened to us. Okay? So I believe, personally, what science is saying why this happens when you're doing an alternate day fasting is, and when you're doing a true fast, you are burning your own stored body fat as its primary fuel, which does control, which science has already told us, does control your appetite. Okay, so there is a big, and there's other factors involved, but those are the main factors. Now, The ones that were doing the alternate day fasting had elevated, and I've already tested this by doing a real live blood test. The ones that were doing the alternate day fasting had elevated ketones. That means even though it was an eating day, they still were in fat burning. Yep, I can tell you that. That's true. My own experience. So this 36-hour fast, so that they're saying the 36-hour fast carries over for multiple days and keeps you in fat burning. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Okay? Now, even if you do a 36-hour fast once a week, you are still getting the benefits. The good news is, those of you that do not like to do multiple fastings per week, if you just do a 36-hour fast once a week and just and just make the right choices and do the high good dietary fat, moderate protein, and very low carb diet, the results are phenomenal. Even if you only do a 36-hour fast once a week. Because in that 36-hour fast, a lot of things change in the body, okay? So, if you're interested and you want to know more about this, then just you could message me, and you guys can, I'll give you some more information on it, or I'll answer any questions you have. But you can email me at drinknatureswater@gmail.com. Also in the blog post, besides all the science, the case studies I put in there, I also put my glucose meter reading when I did a 24-hour fast, which it says here I was actually at 84 this was actually a 42-hour fast. So my fasting was at, I was, a couple times I did reach 62 on a 42-hour fast. Then I went from there. A couple times I did an 84, and I showed you the meter on here. I also showed the meter of when I did my 24-hour fast on 9/9 of this month, and I have the meter, and I showed a 78 blood glucose level on that day after doing a 24-hour fast. So I went ahead and posted a picture of my meter. Okay. And it'll show you that I finished my fast at 6 o'clock at night. Okay? So guys, I hope I stuck within my time frame here. I hope you got some good information out of this. Like I said, go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it, go to the description section, click onto the blog post to get the overall article. Also go to my Facebook group page, Weight Loss Easy Solution, and this video will be there also. Okay, guys? So you guys have a great Friday, and we'll see you guys at the next video. Have a good one. Bye.